Please envelop this entity so completely in love that all needs, wants, and desires are chosen.
And greetings.
Greetings, Wonders.
Greetings, Maggie.
Would you please go to whom, to where, and to when you are directed? Would you please locate your facilitator, Maggie McGuffin-Gadet, on September 7th, 2009?
Yes, we have you.
We are gathered here at 8361 11th Line, our number 2 in the town of Thornton in the province of Ontario, to do a reading for the Wonders Hour radio show. May we begin?
Please.
Thanks, Wonders. Wonders, you've mentioned that this is the year to explore spirituality. Well, next year, 2010, will be the year to explore brilliance. Can you give us a broadening of your perspectives on the direction that your conversations will take us in the next year and the coming years afterwards?
Yes, we could.
Will you?
What would be the benefit of exploring into the future? Anticipation? Projection?
Yeah.
Do you see? The key here is to realize that this is a good time to explore spirituality, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Because after all, humanity is at a point where it could be said, spiritually bankrupt. And it's not that we're saying that all of humanity has no spirituality. Far from it. Humanity being what it is, it has spirituality. But really, it's not applying that spirituality to itself, is it?
Right.
And so the key here is in which way to expand. Now, the point of exploring spirituality was to provide individuals and humanity as a whole with a perspective of where humanity was heading towards, how it was self-destructive, the degree to which it was starting to harm itself. Do you see? If you take a look at your world, take a look at your planet, take a look at your humanity, really, you are humanity at this point in time intent on judging others and each other, intent on harming the environment in which you're in as a methodology for creating what you perceive to be your own self-serving abundance, intent on, in effect, pushing against all that is attempting to guide you to a newer level of consciousness. Humanity is doing this. Why? What would be the benefit other than the self-harm benefit? Do you see? Take a look at the individuals. Take a look at not just yourself, but take a look at every individual that's listening today. Really, are you, as individuals, still intent on harming yourselves? We see that you are. Correct us if we're wrong. We're a little dense. We're only on the 29th dimension of reality, where you're living in this illusion that you call third-dimensional reality. Do you see? But really, your world cannot agree on anything. Your politicians entrench themselves into their own psychologies and belief structures, into their own racial, regional, geographical limitations. You use your limitations as justifications for not choosing differently. You talk a wonderful talk, some of humanity does. But the choices come down to, what do you do with them? Look at all of you who are listening to us. You're listening to us because part of you wants to expand and grow, and part of you hasn't yet. And yet still with you listening to us, and some of you have listened to us for a long period of time, still you find yourselves in a struggle to choose outside of the box that defines who you are. Choose away from the psychologies and the limiting belief structures that hold you in place and keep you into that small living that you've invested yourselves in. We've done a number of workshops recently on living large, on expanding life. Why? What's the point of doing this kind of workshop? What's the point of expressing this to you? What's the point of encouraging it to you, providing you with opportunities to? The point is that it affords you an example, call it a goalpost to head towards, where up till now you've refused to head towards anything other than what you already knew you were comfortable with. Does change itself mean uncomfortableness? Absolutely. If you're looking to really change your planet, your humanity, will it be uncomfortable? Yes. Does it have to be harmful? No. Uncomfortable? We agree. Harmful? No. Take a look at what's going on right now in the world. You have an economy, a world economy, that is bankrupt. And yet, you're still looking to pull yourself out of this bankrupt world economy through the same methodologies and techniques you've always used. In other words, you're thinking within the box. You haven't thought outside of the box. No one. You're still waiting for one particular world economy, the American world economy, to pull everybody out from the recession, depression that you're in, the recession that you're in. You're still waiting for the Savior. You're still waiting for the big kahuna to come along and take care of you. You're still waiting for God to come down and strike down your enemies and reward your friends. Yourself included, of course. You're still waiting for something outside of yourselves to save you. Your planet is suffering. Your planet, the very planet that you live on, that which affords you the opportunity to live and breathe, is suffering. And all you can do is argue and talk about which part should you change, which part should you not, is it right, are you wrong? Your scientists are so busy entrenching themselves into their own belief structures and psychologies that there can be no consensus. Your politicians, of course, they're so busy entrenching themselves to protect their jobs that they're not willing to think outside of the box and actually make a choice. Your businesses are so busy entrenching themselves into their profits that they're not willing to consider that they are part of a global world consciousness. Individuals listening, you're so busy entrenching yourself into your own psychologies and belief structures about your own survival that you can't think outside of the box that you belong to the totality. What's the point? Why should we ourselves expand on anything at this stage when none of you are really willing to choose differently? Oh, right. It's not our choice. It's your choice. So from our perspective, we provide you with the opportunity. This is the year to explore your own spiritual selves. We've provided a number of workshops, and we've suggested that there is an amazing workshop that we're presenting called What's Next, in which choice will be made. What did happen? We observed the world. The moment we put it out, the world went and said, unless I'm participating, I cannot belong. Dear friends, you've criticized us for saying that those who would be there would choose, those who weren't would not. We suggested previously in another radio show, another suggestion, another time, that in effect, those who were there would be the choosers, those who weren't would be the victims. You didn't like the word victims. You don't like looking at yourselves and accepting your reality. World, humanity, you live in a victimhood mentality. You are waiting for your saviors to save you. That's why you are living in your victimhood mentality. You want to save yourself? Do something. Is the retreat the only thing you can do? Of course not. But it's one great place to invest yourselves to move forward, isn't it? It does speak to your own self command, doesn't it? It does speak to your own self choices. It says, I choose to be part of the leadership that's going to lead this world. You think that the retreat, because it's in the middle of nowhere, Canada, some little place in the middle of nowhere, you think that you are insignificant human beings, that you cannot change the world? Dear friends, you cannot change the world if you keep consistently considering yourselves as insignificant. Anyone can change the world if they're willing to choose. This is why we said those who attend choose. Those who don't are victims. You'll be the victims of the choices of others. And that's the mentality that humanity is stuck with. That's what we are attempting to help you shift. Do you want to remain in the psychology of victimhood? Do you want to remain in the psychology that says that you're waiting for someone else to choose for you? Oh, yes. We hear all of you. We hear all of you saying that you are not victims. After all, you choose. You live life. Do you? You live lives to a certain perspective. Yes, we agree. But do you live large, or do you live so small that in effect you're waiting for something else, something bigger and better and broader than yourselves to guide you, to tell you what to do? All of you have been waiting for years for us to tell you what to do. We keep refusing. Why is it that you yourselves cannot choose? When humanity starts to choose, you will find that your accords for global warming will occur quite easily. You will find that people will, corporations will start realizing that they are, in effect, part and parcel of humanity, not separate from it, and profit will not be the only motive. You won't find people trying to take care of only themselves. There will be a global community. Countries, delineations of countries, will not have the same impact. You won't be talking racism between one group of individuals and another group of individuals. There won't be a political psychology that says, I am better than you, no, you're better than me. Do you really want to change this world? Do you really want to make this world a unique oneness that is an example to all of the universe in which you live in? This must change, dear friends. Next year, yes, we will talk about the brilliance. We're going to explore brilliance. But how can you explore brilliance if you're not willing to accept your own spiritual perspectives of selves? How many of you are so afraid of the retreat called What's Next that you're not attending, and you think to yourselves that it's because you don't have money? You think to yourselves that it's because you don't have time. You think to yourselves that the economy is rotten. You think to yourselves that you've got it all figured out. You think to yourselves that this isn't something for you to do. And yet at the same time, you want to explore brilliance and you want to expand. Dear friends, what's next is the stepping stone for the coming years, plural. That's the first step. Think of it as a giant, long, 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 really long staircase. And what's next is the first step. You can't climb the staircase until you put your foot down on the first step. We've done all there is to do to give you the how-tos. We've explored it for 12 years now. You've gotten it. For 12 years, you have it figured out. Is there more we could talk about? Yes. Is there more subjects we could talk about? Yes. Could we talk about it ad nauseum? Absolutely. Could we talk about it infinitely? Absolutely. Could we regurgitate the same information? Absolutely. For how long? For infinity. Is that what you want? A regurgitation of the same material over and over and over again? So that no matter which source you go to, no matter what book you read, no matter what audio recording you listen to, no matter what person you talk to, you get the same information repackaged, reprogrammed in a different way, in a nice new bow for yourselves? Is this what you want? Or do you want to open yourselves to what is possible with who you are? Do you want to start choosing to change your lives, not to repackage the same old stuff, to change your lives, to grow new lives, to really shift your consciousness so that humanity removes this incessant need to hold on to its limitations and judgments. And yourselves included. When we say humanity, it's you as individuals, dear friends. Not one of you listening right now is willing to let go of every one of your limitations. Not one. We can regurgitate. Do you want from us a regurgitation or an exploration? We're attempting to take you into a further exploration. The regurgitation has been done. What we would suggest to you is take a Tums. Get rid of your acid indigestion, your acid reflux, and start exploring further. You don't need more regurgitation. You're not cows. Do something else. Start exploring into the uncomfortable. Start exploring into parts of yourselves that is unknown but very uncomfortable for you. Start asking yourselves, what is it that's holding you back? And when you think you've got the answer, realize that answer is very small. If you start living large, thinking large, dreaming large, your answers will be large. Right now, none of you are really dreaming, thinking, and living large, are you? We see humanity as a possibility to change universal consciousness. We see humanity as that possibility. Is the probability high? Not yet. Which is why we're coming through to you. We would like to explore in the coming years so much more. But if all you ask of us is to regurgitate the same stuff over and over again, that's all you'll get. We would encourage everyone who's listening, everyone, not just you, and you. No, everyone who listens to this recording, we would encourage you to attend the coming retreat. Everyone. And you'll all argue with us. Every one of you will argue and say you can't afford it. Everyone. And we will say to you, sheer poppycock, do you think for one moment that if you started giving to yourselves that which is necessary to shift yourself, move outside of your box, to expand your consciousness, to move into exploration, that the resources for exploration would not be there? The resources are there. Your humanity is stuck in the consciousness of control. I control the money, you pay me, this is how it works. This is how you live. Stay in your box. Don't go beyond it. What would happen to your society if each and every one of you who is listening right now started shifting yourselves and moving outside of the control society places on you? Society would change, we assure you. So we would encourage each and every one of you to attend. Why? Because that particular retreat will give, call it, it will be the spark that lights the fire for what's to come. Can you spark yourself by not being there? Oh, yes. But we assure you that if you just listen to the material afterwards, you'll be bored. You'll find it not as interesting. It'll be another one of your little control things where you can just kind of listen to it, set it aside, and never do anything about it. And you will continue to live a life just as you had before. You will continue to live with your victim mentality. And yes, you are all victims. Humanity as a whole plays the victim card, the victimhood card, all the time. Why do you think you have religion created for you? You're perfect victims. Look at your world. You play victimhood to the hilt. Do you want to step outside of your victimhood mentality? Start now. The retreat, What's Next, is a good place to start. Are we encouraging it? Are we advertising it? No. We're saying to you, this is a place to start. Are you willing to change? Some of you convince yourselves that you have. You'll argue with us that you are not a victim, that you have changed, that you are someone who is in charge of your lives. Are you really? We assure you there isn't one individual on the planet right now who doesn't have, to some degree or another, victimhood mentality within them. Not one. Some of you a lot more than others. There. That's your choice. Brilliance? What's the point of talking about brilliance if you can't get past victimhood? Other than to say that you'll be a brilliant victim. How many? We see hundreds of thousands could attend to this particular retreat. Hundreds of thousands of you are capable. How many of you will show up? 8? 10? Are you willing to invest in yourselves sufficiently to move yourselves out of this victimhood mentality you keep insisting you have? That's the key question, isn't it? As to the coming years, dear Maggie, we will discuss this at another time.
Okay, Wonders.
The message today is not to be diluted. This is the message. Quit being victims. Start choosing your own directions. And quit kidding yourselves that you're really choosing outside of your box when you're repeating the same old stuff over and over again, but making it look different. You're not choosing outside of the box. Choose outside, you'll know the difference. And to you all, the appreciation of all.
The appreciation of all, Wonders. May we move to end this session?
Unless you have questions, yes.
I don't have Wonders.
Then please.
Okay. Please perform all healings that are chosen.
Done.
Please relax the body to its natural state now.
And to you all, the appreciation of all.
The appreciation of all, Wonders. I would like Renee to awake feeling completely loved now.
Came out of that session, I saw this great big staircase almost leading up to heaven. You know that staircase to heaven thing?
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of interesting because on the first step was written, what's next? On the second step was written, I can't remember the words, but it was like the next workshop, and then the third workshop, and the fourth. It's like every workshop was written on a step. It was kind of cool in a way, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a long, long one, and it was like you couldn't read the writing on the other steps because it was so far away. You couldn't read what they said. You know.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's what I got.
Thank you.